Good morning there, YouTube. It is actually still morning here. I'm pretty certain it's like 10, 11 o'clock. But for number one, if you guys are new to the channel, hello and welcome. I was actually about to use the little telescopic phone holder thing that I showed you guys the other day in the opening or the unboxing video, so to speak. But of course, it says fits most phones. But I don't know if it was the casing on my phone or not. But I was definitely struggling, and it looked like it was actually struggling to hold on my phone. So not a big deal. Obviously, we can take it back. But my meaning and intention behind of mentioning that, yes, obviously I'm outside, neighbors are doing their thing, so we're going to have random noises. But obviously I had multiple intentions with that because it is a tripod and like a selfie stick all in one, and I was actually going to come out here and use it to show you guys like around the truck camper. That's the main point of this whole video here. Okay, so obviously you guys have seen it before. You've seen going the wrong way. You guys have seen, damn, that's like bright as shit, my bad. But you guys have seen the inside. Now, not necessarily saying that, just because it has obviously issues. I mean, you guys know it's, been sitting at the previous owner's house for, I think he said like 10 years. So, I know that's so loud. I might actually here, you don't have to see the camper considering the fact that, you know what, fuck it, let's take a little walk around the block. Why not? So, I might have to do this for just a minute, just so I can actually see the phone a little bit. But anyways, so what I was going to say is, we all know, obviously, you got YouTube. You guys are here. Obviously it makes sense. So of course, there is a plethora of pages, if you will, on Facebook. And obviously, even before I obtained the truck camper, I was asking questions, but of course I started asking more, like, not necessarily thorough questions, but of like what size of a truck did I need in order to haul it, because now, mind you, you guys know it's on here. That's another thing. It's cap cut, I found out. So, your boy's slowly learning, but we're getting there. So I can actually put all of the videos together of going to get the rental truck all the way to the point of actually dropping the camper off at home. So that was basically like the questions. I mean, I already knew it needed to at least have the 8-foot bed in order to haul it in general, and the factor that it's one that's designed that you can't have my bad guys, that you can't have your tailgate on, because the back end, now obviously for those out there, if you do happen to come across this video and you have one, you're already aware of, the purpose of why you can't have your tailgate on. Is because it's designed in the back. Basically, the camper is built to where it's long enough for obviously the 8-foot bed, but with that, the back end of it doesn't just like a straight shot out of the bed of the truck. It actually covers the tail lights, all of that. I know that sun's in and out there, so I do apologize about that. But no, that's why you need an 8-foot bed for that, with no tailgate. So the back end of the camper itself has the proper lighting for brake lights, all that. Of course, that obviously, what the hell is the word I'm sitting there trying to think of? You take one thing away, but the thing that you're taking said thing away for fulfills that purpose. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the camper has the brake lights, turn signal, all that shit, because obviously you're taking the tailgate off in order to be able to put your truck camper into the truck. But also how it's designed. I know I'm rambling on, but there may be people out there that watch this that have absolutely no idea. But then again, to a lot of you too, it could be common sense. Look at the little squirrely run. Go, guy, go. Keep going. But, so yeah, so of course once you take out take off the tailgate, now mind you, obviously if you got an extended cab or, I would about imagine you at least need to sit and extend the cab. Why are words hard sometimes? In order to, for any reason, say like you get to a campsite or something, you want to drop off your camper, you can put your tailgate back on. But to a lot of us, that doesn't even matter, because aside of your truck camper, you're not necessarily going to be hauling anything. I know that does not go to everybody, because not everybody like myself is going to actually be living in it full time. Yes, obviously there are some out there that very much do. There's also people out there that are basically weekend or, camping in that general. I respect all of that, totally do. It's not for everybody to live in it full time. To some, it is. But anyway, I know I just kind of like slightly got sidetracked there for a second. But anyhow, so as I was on the truck camper page, I was asking people like, what truck. Now, mind you, I might receive some hate on this, but it is what it is. It's life for humans. We don't always all, of course, share the same opinions and thoughts. Hence, that's the part of being our individual human selves. But I was asking, of course, I had the 8-foot bed that I had to rent to get it home. I was asking of, basically, I know there's say for example, Chevy and Ford. You got 15, 25, and I think 35. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. And then you got your F-150, 250, 350. And if I'm not mistaken, I think I may have seen up to 550. Please do correct me if I'm wrong, if they do not exist. I think. I want to say, I'm almost more, I want to say guaranteeing it, but a 450. But like I said, also, no offense, no disrespect. Fords just aren't, I have had them. So, I do have enough room a little bit to say, hey, I have had them. Not my cup of tea, so to speak. If it's the last thing to kind of get me from A to B, then we'll rock with it. But you know what I'm saying? But basically, on either one of those, with the different, obviously different sizes or whatever, so they can, handle a bigger, is it payload? If that's how you actually describe that. Man, that one's actually, for some reason, odd reason, getting, my fingers are right dead in the camera, my bad. But no, as I was getting to ask that question, of course, I threw up a video on the inside and the outside, of course, and had a couple of people on there that said, even though it was free, they wouldn't have even messed with it. Again, mind you, I've never had a camper or anything else of that nature. I've never dealt with mold. And that main thing right there, that big old M word, your boy doesn't mess with it. I never have. I honestly, not to sound like a little puss or anything, but it's not exactly something I want to mess with, because I know that you need different chemicals. I do not know them enough to mention them on here, because I would probably look like an idiot to have the wrong solution, if you will. But let's see here. The one couple people actually mentioned on there, not only would they not have taken it in general, regardless if it was given or not, the amount, and like I said, I don't mind doing projects and such. I don't want to deal with mold. I'm not even going to bullshit you guys. I just don't. Now, the other things that could be probably fixed quite easily, potentially, I don't mind. I wouldn't mind doing that. But, I think what we're going to do because like I said, I know I sent you guys the video beforehand of we might actually go back the other way and take a longer walk, because we're about back to the house, and I'm not done with the video just yet. So with that being said, I have actually thrown it on Marketplace. Let's just go ahead and turn around here. Damn, it is bright as fuck. Not complaining really, but it's just I'm sure it'll show up decently on which, I mean, I really don't care if this big old hairy face is all that clear all that much, as long as you guys actually get what I'm actually talking about, because I know even especially some of you guys, I appreciate every single one of you across the board for whatever you may have, sub to the channel, so on and so forth, because as you guys know as well as I do, of course, the channel is all over the place. So, but that's one thing I love about it. It's not always the same shit. So, that being said, I did throw it on there. Make offer. Obviously, you guys know. I did get it for free. So, I mean, that's, it's not like top secret news or anything else of that nature. But I figured if anybody else, has had one or has one and knows how to do and deal with everything at hand with that, they could, somebody in their family might want it, and they can throw, a couple stacks together, if even that much, depending, obviously. You gotta think about today's world. It's 2025, inflated everything. So, but also, I'm not necessarily wanting to sound or seem greedy on my end. I know I got it for free, but granted, the only thing is, I think I have been it literally so far. Yes, obviously, I know I'm short of breath a little bit. I'm walking, which is nice to actually take a nice little morning walk. It's peaceful. But yeah, if I can get anything from it, obviously I'd be grateful. Some of you guys out there probably like, dude, you got it for free, you should give it away for free. I also understand and get that as well, but we all know this type of situation has happened before from anybody else across the world, that, whether you get it for free or whatever, if you're wanting to get rid of that to move on to a different project or whatever the scenario may be, it doesn't have to be over a project or anything else of that nature. But basically, my main point of what I'm getting fully into is no parking on the grass. Just smoke it. You guys know I had to throw that one in there. Now, there's plenty of videos on here of, me talking about the nomad lifestyle and all that. So, between the truck camper, a U-Haul, and a skoolie are all three that have been like my top choices. Now, obviously, depending on where you're watching this from, that could be in the States, it could be outside of the States. Obviously, the companies around you may not, have the same name. Obviously, I don't know how far out, like U-Haul and I think there's literally Yale, Y-A-L-E, if I'm not mistaken. It's like a yellow box truck. But anyhow, you guys know what I'm saying. Like, in general, like I said, regardless if you're here in the States or if you're in different countries, you still usually tend to use moving trucks, whether you hire them or you rent a box truck yourself and do the job. So you guys know what I'm getting at. Those, hell, they're designed literally to move your house. And there's, of course, a few people here on YouTube that do the whole factor. They live in basically a U-Haul. Like I said, it's also been one of the top 3 ideas I've had. Mind you, of course, I could just haul whatever small vehicle behind me. So once I'm traveling, I have a small vehicle once I do my dashing and such. Because obviously, regardless of whatever Hold on. Definitely not trying to get ran over by fucking FedEx, but sorry for the sun, but you know, it's the sun. What was I getting at here? Oh, the U-Haul type deal. So obviously those are designed to move your belongings. So who's to say you can't literally build the inside of a U-Haul? I mean, you can go all fancy and bougie and, you know, all that jazz, or you can keep it simple and just have your bare necessities and be good to go. I am one of them. I don't have to have it being all fancy and all that jazz. I mean, if it's already, it's like if it's something I would potentially like buy off of somebody and it's already at least somewhat converted or already converted, go with that. You know, potentially make a tweak here and there to your own liking and or specifications. But no, the third one, yeah, the skoolie, I'm honestly kind of leaning more towards that. And one of the absolute main reasonings for that is I'm pretty certain I actually even explained this in a previous video specifically for a skoolie. Dude, am I tripping, or where the fuck did the FedEx dude go? He like disappeared. Oh, there he is. I swear he looked like he just like straight up disappeared. And you guys heard, I don't think you've seen the FedEx truck. You may have. I might not have been looking at the phone. It might have been in the background behind me. But the skoolie. Now, I know not everybody, of course, you know, has this, you know, first thing at, you know, at thought. But in general, what are school buses not 100% in use for, but I'd say a good strong 90. What's the main purpose for them? Transporting humans, especially school buses, kids. They're going to be built fucking safely, like hella safe, because I mean, you're transporting not only children, but also adults, you know. So the thing about that is, like, if I get anywhere between a 4 to 6 window skoolie, that should be, hold on, make sure you not back up and let's see brake lights. That's it. We're going to chill here in the shade for a second and wait for him to do his thing, and then we'll continue on. Anyhow, so like the school bus, you know, in the back or however where I would, you know, go about building. Basically, I'm gonna have to build a bed frame. Not a big deal. Sure, that would literally take nothing. Obviously, lumber, all that jazz. But all right, he's he's backing now, so let him carry on, and then there we go. Now we can head on. But it is actually nice to be in the shade here. But I don't mind a little sunlight either. But yeah, just to build, hi guy. Because of course, you know, just like anything I've been thinking about doing, of living in and or having a build of, obviously YouTube is there, and it's an absolute great tool because so many people could have the same exact idea and make it so simple, make a video of it. You know, obviously not talking about it, but actually doing it. It's an absolutely a great tool, great teacher from a multitude of people. But no, like especially even with the school bus, I like the factor of being able to get up from actually literally driving to wherever I pull in the park. That if I get up and turn to my right out of my seat, boom, I'm home. I mean, obviously I'm driving my home. You know, kind of obviously that's a given. But, sorry, you guys were like right up in my face, my bad. Jeez. And like, see the U-Haul, same way. I would want the cutaway. I think that's at least what it's called. The little door or whatever that, like you're in the cab and you can turn and open and slide that little door open for a U-Haul truck. Kind of the same concept, which obviously the only thing there seems to be is the simple wall. Obviously the school bus completely wide open. But I just think, and like I said, of course, if we were keeping the truck camper, yes, I was going to give you guys, of course, literally just vacuuming it out. You know, video, not a video of me vacuuming it, because that would be, geez, I don't even remember swapping hands. I was gonna, make you guys a video of, daggone, watch my fingers. There we go, my bad. I was gonna do a video of, like, sweeping or vacuuming it out, and just like cleaning and fixing whatever per section. Hold on, here comes a car. I don't know why I stopped talking. It's not like the talking is going to slow it down or move it over any bit, but I was going to make literally damn near every step of the way of getting it to the livable condition. I was going to bring that to you guys, so obviously you have some content to watch on the channel. However, like I said, I'm not trying to deal with mold. And I have a feeling, considering the kiddo actually jumped up in there, obviously I was in there, you guys see a video of it on the channel itself. So obviously I was in there. I didn't smell the mold. Not everybody smells the same, you know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking, well, not thinking, she got in there and she smelled it. And then from what people were commenting on my Facebook post, that kind of steered me away from it. Now, mind you, if I didn't have to deal with mold. Now, of course, on the U-Haul and or the skoolie, unless it's bare bones, like just OG state, I shouldn't. Now, I could be wrong. Obviously, it's also another thing I've never owned or dealt with. But unless you get one that's already done, you don't know the work that's been done behind that or what that looks like. Camper, obviously, it's already done from, of course, the factory of it being built. But that was sitting there for I was literally about to say 10 minutes. 10 years on dude's property. He never said anything about, being the original owner or anything else, so I don't even know how old that thing is. Obviously, I can Google it to see of where to check if there's. I'm sure that there's some type of a label or something somewhere in order to, have the manufacturing date, so on and so forth. But just in age itself doesn't mean just because it's old that it's crappy. Because no, vintage things can be extremely nice, and especially remodeled and all that, to get it as modern as you want or keep that vintage look to it, but having kind of like a behind the scenes, so to speak, up there. Because say that thing is like 30 or 40 years old, if you're going to remodel, dude, tear the walls out and put all new insulation. I mean, now granted, probably the wood that does have mold, I could probably just obviously take it out and replace it. I don't know, in ways I honestly as well feel like it's too much for my own personal wants and likings, I guess, if you will. I mean, I don't mind putting the work in, but after I was sitting there thinking about it, now mind you, dude even told me it sleeps 6. Where you're going to put the extra 2 at, I have no idea, because it's like I think he said it's a queen above the cab. So a queen, probably comfortably, like in a camping situation, I guess, if you will, you might be able to get 3. And then where basically the dinette, if you will, how that, folds out to, I say 1 person comfortably, maybe 2, but like maybe 2 small kids or something. But so no, say if I do go with the skoolie, which I have that more true and dear into heart, but I also know that people sit there and say, like, one of my not previous, but it's an older video, but the person was mentioning the factor that the skoolies will nickel and dime you to death. The only way I look at it, like a positive way of that, I'm not having a mortgage or a rent. Mind you, still if it costs you, if it keeps on nickel and diming you, to me, that's just my look of maintenance. And it's kind of my rent mortgage of I'm updating and, you know, keeping my house maintained. Because obviously you're driving it in time, just as any other vehicle, it's going to have wear and tear. You're going to have to, you know, buy new parts, all that. I totally get that. But me personally, regardless of whatever it is that I finally do end up choosing on, I'm not going to have to pay anybody rent or mortgage. That's kind of another reason why, in general, I've been wanting to do this for 20 plus years. So, we might take a break right here at the car and relax for a minute, because that was 2 decent little walks around the block. I'm not trying to have everybody's house in here, but here, there, that works a little bit better. Yeah, there we go. Not so sunny and everything else, but I don't know, the skoolie sounds to me so much better. It's just like, now don't get me wrong, I mean, I love the factor of knowing, like, the truck camper, because of the factor, I mean, granted, you're going to have, depending on what size of camper that you have, is going to depend on the size of the truck that you're going to need, obviously, in order to haul it. It's just like with that, say I'm at the campground or something for, you know, a week or 2 or whatever. Obviously, I can leave the camper itself on the pad or campsite itself, and then, you know, explore around in the truck and such. But it's like, the truck on that end, I'm sure gas is not going to be cheap. Not only just exploring around, but also, of course, when the camper's on it, obviously more weight on it. It's going to take more. I wouldn't say necessarily. I guess it would take a little bit more gas in general to get over where you're going or whatever, because, I mean, you've got how much ever those things weigh, and, I mean, I'm sure obviously that slows you down. I mean, I would think that would be a given. But just in general, because I kind of figured between, like, food and fuel is probably going to be my 2 biggest costs, you know, across the board of whatever I do fully and finally choose to do. Now, don't get me wrong, again, fucking words. Like I said again, now, if it wasn't for, like, the whole mold, that's something I would prefer not to freaking deal with. Now, mind you, I should have sat there and thought about it as soon as I seen it, but, dude, that should have been, like, a first thing, click, and, you know, the head thing's probably got mold in it. It's been, you know, 10 years since it's been sitting there. Probably a good indicator that it has. I was just too excited, as you guys have seen in the video, and I jumped on it. It was free, you know, like I said. Also, that's also why I say I'm not trying to be greedy. If somebody does want it, I don't expect a whole boatload out of it, but it's just a factor that I got it here. I mean, obviously I did pay in ways for it. It's just not from the person that gave it to me. But if I can use that, and then I got just a little bit more to the side, we're going to go with, I would about imagine, probably, because I've been, of course, doing some shopping on Marketplace as well, and anywhere between 2 and 8, I've been finding some really decent buses. Of course, there has been a couple of them that has been, like, they already got to where, like, I seen one had a refrigerator, a microwave, and I seen literally a plug right above it. So it's like, they've already got basically, not necessarily the hard work. I've never ran all that stuff before either, because that would be also, I would have recorded anything I do get. You guys are definitely going to get the breakdown of, like I said, if it's already something like, say if I get a skoolie and it's already converted or partially converted or whatever, to put my tweaks and so on and so forth into it and making it how I want to, you guys would obviously get, you know, those videos to see, you know, the process of doing it or whatever. Now, honestly, like, if I do go with the skoolie, I do personally want to. I don't think, now mind you, of course, I would probably be traveling during the winter times in areas that aren't, you know, freaking absolutely, like, sub-zero, because of the factor, I know I've seen a couple people on here that have skoolies that do, like, the full blown on, you know, taking it out, putting the insulation in and all that, and they live in them, but they also stay in warmer climates during winter season. So, kind of obviously, and given where that's why you don't need the insulation and all that. Now, mind you, some people's like, no, screw it. You need to do all that process. No, me personally, I probably will build like towards the back, a bed, and then I probably like going that route, since obviously the truck camper does have a wet bath in it. I probably will not have that built in. Then again, I might. It just all depends on what obviously I want. That is obviously if I find something that needs to be built. I don't know if you guys can see him or not. A little bitty green one crawling up right here. I don't know if you can see that or not. He's an itty bitty guy. You guys may not be able. He almost blends into my hand, but he's just crawling around. Anyway, that's like one of the most microscopic little spiders I've ever seen. So no, like if I do the skoolie, of course you guys will see me do the build of the bed frame, which I'm sure it won't be really all that difficult. I mean, how hard could it be to literally, build and throw a bed frame into the end of a bus? I'm sure not that difficult. I will probably, potentially, since now I have, since I'm not doing the truck camper at the moment, if I do the skoolie, I do have my 65 TV. So, the 65-inch TV, the OLED, LG. I'm sitting there bringing my shit down to you guys. I could possibly, with that, like, build somewhat of a wall, if you will, to be able to mount the TV to it. So obviously, make sure it's structurally sound for one before even mounting anything on it, and then mounting the TV on it, and then I'll go from there. But the bed, probably a couch, and the partial wall to mount the TV to. And I think that honestly, in general, I'll probably build like depending on the size of it, depending on the skoolie itself, I might build like a small little, cooking area in it. If not, obviously I can always travel with, heck, even like having those little screened in like little canopy deals. Like if I'm out somewhere like in the woods or something where I can pop that up, I can put that up, put a little table or something in there, and then have like a little Coleman or something, like a propane, like a little stove, or even I'm sure somewhere I can carry like a little what's that, charbroil or something like that, like little grills that you can throw the charcoals in. We can make this extremely simple, and I plan on making it as simple as possible. And then you guys will of course start seeing me, travel around and such. It's just, I know also in the truck camper video, I was sitting there saying 2 months, but even that, I basically, once I went back and I watched that myself, is like, I'm going to call bullshit on myself, because I don't think in a 2-month period of time, with as busy and everything else that I do in my daily life, that 2 months was not going to cut it on doing that remodel job. Probably, I say like 6 or so would probably be more of an adequate time frame, if not a little bit longer. But now, since that's out of the question, and then we're going to either go with the U-Haul or skoolie. But like I said, I think skoolie is a little bit more up on that, higher on that tier than the U-Haul. I don't know. I just always thought that it'd be kind of really dope to live in a school bus. Why not? And knowing that it's as structurally sound and safe as you can as it can get. So I want to apologize to you guys that basically, if you did even just sub for the simple factor, because I know that there was one that you did. I cannot remember your name. I do apologize, but if you do watch this video, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. That you wanted to like get updates of, doing like, new like cleaning up, or starting a remodel job or whatever. So fear not. You may not be getting it for the truck camper, but like I said, probably at least a strong 7 to 8 out of 10 will be the skoolie. So stick around, and once, obviously, you know, I'll even make video once I go to pick up whichever one it is, the U-Haul or the skoolie. I will do like I did for the truck camper. I'll make video of that for you guys, and then that process will be put on here so that you guys can. Man, my fingers keep getting stuck in my beard. But yeah, regardless, like I said, whichever one that I actually fully choose on to do and everything, when we start doing the build, we'll get it going, and you guys will see literally all the process. The kiddo is actually going to teach me how to do, like, say, like this video, like if it was, you know, a 35-40 minute video of me, you know, building something or whatever, she's going to show me how, like, you do, like, you're watching it, but it's kind of like speeding through the process. So that way, of course, you know, a 3-hour job, you guys aren't sitting here for 3 hours watching me literally take my time and, you know, do the project or whatever. 3-hour video will be probably cut down to like an hour. That way you get the full process and all that. Like she's like, what she told me, so you can always like slow it down, and like there's points that you know you need to, you know, say something about whatever you're doing or whatever. She's like, you can do that, and then you can go back to doing what you're doing, and then she's like, you can, you know, speed that up as well. So who says you can't teach an old dog new tricks? But I believe that's it, guys. I do apologize for pushing you almost 40 minutes here. I just wanted to give you guys a heads up. Yeah, it's just, I don't know, I guess in a way I am kind of scared to deal with mold, if you will, but I mean, I don't know, it's just, it's not my cup of tea, and I think later on down the road, we will probably, like once I actually start traveling, so on and so forth, it's a very good possibility that we might go from a skoolie to a truck camper, but then again, I like the whole factor of, like, now granted, to me, the camper that I currently have, it's not roomy. Obviously, it's in the bed of a truck, but for being in the bed of a truck, for what it has, yes, it is roomy, but I think in ways I'd be happier with having at least the short bus. That way, it's a little bit more room to move around and such, and granted, you can make your own storage, so on and so forth, but I think that would, in all honesty, at the end of the day, be a better choice for me. Obviously, still not a very big vehicle, and for the most part, I'm sure I can get around many places with it. I can still pull a vehicle behind me with it, and on top of that, I can stand up, I can move around, and I'll have more room than the truck camper. So stay tuned, and I'm hoping not very long that we will have it, and we'll start getting you guys some videos pumped out here. Yeah, so I don't know if you guys can hear the neighbors. Kind of can't control them talking and be a little bit loud, and I think it's a little bit of an echo as well, but it's all good. But you guys have a fantastic day, and I want to hop off here and actually got some eBay items to post up. I've been kind of slacking on actually I have a few videos to put out here for you guys that they're actually already on here. It's just the fact they're actually uploading them. So I'm going to get off of here on upload this one so you guys can get it and get a little bit of a heads up that we're not doing the truck camper. That we're potentially going with either the U-Haul and or the skoolie. So again, keep you guys updated on all of that. And I think here within, obviously this video is going to be, you know, out here on the channel, you know, forever. But if you guys watch this in a week or two or whatever, yeah, obviously I'm probably not going to be streaming the same game as I'm going to be mentioning here, which probably a little bit of some PUBG. But yeah, I'm going to go in here so can give you guys some gaming content from the channel, as you guys know that have been around here and everything, that you guys know the channel's all over the place. And if you are new here, and if you actually stayed along this entire time, thank you ever so much. I do greatly appreciate that, because I'm sure that it's not the most exciting content all the time, especially if I'm just sitting here literally talking to my phone, which eventually you guys will see. But anyways, you guys have an awesome day. I am going to go in here and relax, probably take a bong rip or two, and get a little streaming on. So we will talk to you guys later. You have a fantastic day, and thank you.